Pick it, push it, pop it. What really lies beneath? Dr. Pimple Popper is here with her most frightening case yet.
They're scared to find something out like that.
And Suzanne Somers, up close and very personal. Her Instagram pic that started a firestorm. Plus, the filthiest humidifier in America you have to see to believe.
I'm terrified and repulsed at the same time.
Coming up next.
Are you ready for season 11? Today you're in for a treat, and a big one. She's one of my all-time favorite guests, has nearly 6 million subscribers on YouTube, and has been restoring her patients' confidence while grossing out fans for years. She took the internet by storm when she started posting videos popping pimples. Now, years later, these videos have gathered over 3.5 billion, with a B, billion views worldwide. Check it out. Oh my, please welcome the popular Pimple Popper, Dr. Sandra Lee. Come on out.
Nice to see you.
You look wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks.
Oh my goodness. Here in person.
Yes, no pimples though. I didn't bring any with me.
Yeah, you're not wearing any today. You know, people cannot look away, not just from you, but from these cases you manage. What is so universally mesmerizing about your work?
Well, I think it starts with a little fascination, you know, with what we do as physicians, but there's something cathartic about it. I mean, there's something about removing something that is not supposed to be there and putting everything back in its place. And I think that's really why people keep coming back to it.
A little bit of OCD in all of us, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
True.
It makes you feel good. And that's what's so wonderful about it.
I actually think women and men are a little different because in my family, the women groom all the time.
Yes.
So if they see something on me, I can see my wife go like this. Just
Right.
staring at my forehead.
It is definitely more of a woman thing, too. They'll chase you around the house, pin you down, that sort of thing. Yes.
All right. So today we're checking out some of Dr. Lee's most frightening cases yet. I'm a spoiler alert here. These are a lot worse than your average pimple. Y'all ready for this? Yeah. I knew you would be. Take a look. I mean, that is jaw-dropping.
Yeah. So he has a case of rhinophyma, a very serious case. This is a form of rosacea. To all the people who have rosacea, it does not mean that you're going to get rhinophyma. It happens more in men, people who are fair-complected. It happens primarily on the nose, and you get this really thickening of the nose, the skin of the nose. It's really oily.
What causes it? We don't actually know what causes rosacea because people in my family have it. It's that redness of the cheeks.
Similar, yeah.
Santa Claus redness.
Exactly. And I really want to say what's really important about this. It's not caused by alcoholism. A lot of people think that, and that's not fair. It definitely, rosacea and rhinophyma are triggered or worsened by alcohol. There's certain triggering factors. Alcohol, caffeine, stress, sunlight, all the kind of things that, you know, probably make us enjoy life. Right. You know, but it does not mean if you have rhinophyma that you're an alcoholic.
But what is the cause then, do we believe?
It's just an overgrowth of tissue. It's a form of rhinophyma that just causes this thickening, and it's not a medical necessity to remove it, but it is certainly, obviously, it's cosmetically disfiguring.
I thought we had little mites on our, do we all have mites?
Oh yes, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. Yes.
I'm fascinated by this, and because I see it in my family, I've looked into it. We all have these little mites, these little bugs on us, right?
This is something that kind of freaks people out because there are mites that live in our skin normally, like little caterpillars, and they kind of move around like that. Yes, and we do find that people with rosacea and rhinophyma have a higher concentration of these mites on our face, but we all have them. They're all watching us. They're all on us right now. So, you know, they're like, when you see them under an electron microscope, they're really kind of cute, but I'm sure most people don't think they look cute, but I do. And they live on our face, and they live along with us, but with people with this condition, we do find an increased amount of them. So we have tried to target treatment, trying to destroy some of these on our face.
But in the meantime, how do you treat it? Where do you even start? You need your nose.
Yes. Well, this is an extra part of your nose. He obviously has too much nose, and it's actually, affecting his ability to breathe. So we use a device. It's called a loop cautery or a loop electrosurgery. It's a lot like what you use in surgery, a bovie, that you cut and cauterize at the same time. And we use it like a hot knife through butter. I mean, it's essentially, it's so hot that it will just make a cut through it, and it's bloodless. It's very satisfying, but you have to be careful because obviously if you take off too much, you can't put it back.
This is after this.
Yeah, this is another. Yes, this is another patient I did their rhinophyma. So we see a lot of patients with it, and it's just so satisfying to do because it is something that can transform somebody so quickly, and they're so thankful for it. It's just really a wonderful treatment to be able to do. I'm really proud of it.
You should be. I mean, you're back to life again. People are staring at you.
I mean, you can't. How do you hide your nose? You can't. You can't. Anything that you do, people are going to look at you and look directly at your nose, so you can't hide it.
Now, it's easy to think that Dr. Lee only focuses on humps and bumps and lumps, but when you're in her line of work, there's no telling what might come through the door next. Take a look at this case. Oh, Maya's terrifying.
Yeah, psoriasis is really common. We see it actually in celebrities too. Kim Kardashian has told the world. Yeah. It affects 1 out of 100 people. It is not life-threatening, but it's a chronic skin condition. It's lifelong, and so.
How bad does it get? To have 90% of your body covered?
People can have just one little spot on their elbow or on their scalp, or they can have 100% of their body involved. And so it also causes arthritis, which is really common. So there are a range of treatment options, really. If you have mild condition.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You get arthritis because the same thing on your skin is happening in your joint?
Yes, yeah. Essentially, we think, we don't really know exactly what it is, but we do know it has something to do with an overactive immune system because we do find certain treatment options that are targeting that help.
Got it.
So, we use topical steroids, which is really common because that helps to blunt the immune system. But now we have all these biologics, which are amazing. They've really transformed dermatology and rheumatology and medicine in general.
So one shot, once a month or something?
Yes, once a month. Depends on the medication that you use. And it cleared this guy up, essentially, in about a month or so.
He recovered from that?
Yes, yeah. It's so amazing.
That's
Amazing the things that you can do now. It really makes me happy to be a dermatologist, that we have these things now that can really help to change people.
What was his emotional response when he no longer had continuous pain?
Well, the emotional response is that the pain, but also the fact that now he feels like he can interact with his kid. I think the big deal was that he could go to parties with him. He can work. Before it was so painful, it was difficult for him to work, and you're embarrassed because his wife had to follow after him and clean up all the scale. Imagine you have so much skin in your house, in your bathtub. You take a bath and it's stuck in your drain. All these sorts of things that just affect your daily living.
God bless you for helping him. All right, up next, one of the strangest cases Dr. Lee has ever encountered. We just showed you a couple strange ones. This is
Yeah.
There it is. We're going to show you the surgery required to fix this right here in studio. Be right back. Coming up, the most frightening cases Dr. Pimple Popper has ever seen, including one like this.
Yes, you won't believe how big cases like this one can get.
It is next. Do you need a health reboot? Something you can stick with? Well, we have an easy-to-follow lifestyle system to get you back on track. 20 goals, lose 20 pounds, and reduce your risk of disease by 20%. A plan you can stick with because we made it easy. From the way you eat to how well you sleep and how you manage your stress every day. System 20 for 2020.
It feels good.
We're back with Dr. Pimple Popper herself, the adorable Dr. Sandra Lee. Now, we've been talking about the most frightening cases Dr. Lee has ever seen, and this one might just take the cake. Take a look. What is going on here?
Well, that's a lipoma, but it is the biggest lipoma I've ever seen, and of course, we're doing it on this show. It is bigger than a baby. It would be a record-making baby, really. 12 pounds, 9 ounces. That's crazy. Yes.
So, let me take a step back here. You all saw that, right? Right. Would any of you walk around with a 12-pound mass on your back like that? I hope not. What is going on? Why do people not go seek care? Why don't they address the issues?
I try not to blame the patients, certainly, because you know what happens. There's money involved. They don't have the money. They have to work. They have to, raise a family and have a life that they can't get away from. They're scared of doctors. Yeah, insurance won't pay for it. And these are really things that's not life-threatening. A lipoma is a benign growth. And other doctors might see it and say, you know what? you don't have to remove that. It's not medically necessary.
But there is also the fear that it's not just a lipoma. There could become a cancer, right? They do become cancer sometimes.
Yes, they can. They certainly can. But something that grows this long under the skin for years and hasn't threatened your life yet, unlikely, but yeah, at any moment, anything can turn into
So what
something.
made it so difficult to remove?
The size of it, of course. And, you know, also this gentleman, he's so sweet and kind, but, you know, it's hard. You know what, I do things under local anesthesia, so I have to manage a lot of different things at the same time. I got to talk to the patient, make sure they're comfortable, make sure that I can get this out, make sure it's not, you know, bleeding, make sure. So there's a lot of things going on in my mind.
All right, so we constructed a massive replica.
Actually, it's about the same size as the lipoma.
So not so massive.
But it's big.
You mean a real life replica. Walk us through the procedure.
Yes.
Literally, what did you do?
Yes, so this is his back. And we take a big blade. Oh yeah, I gotta put my gloves on for this.
This is a replica.
Yes, that's right.
So you have to make an incision that's along the lines of the skin so that it heals correctly. So it's horizontal or vertical?
Usually in this case, it might be a little bit diagonal even because I want to go along skin tension lines, resting skin tension lines to hide it as much as I can. And I make a smaller incision always because I'm trying to minimize it and also pop it out in as small a hole as possible. And I use my hands for this, really, not really blades, as little as possible because obviously your fingers are blunt and you'll be able to dissect this lipoma out. So.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that. So here it is. It's always a little hard. It's stuffed in there. So I use my hands to kind of undermine, what we call undermining, right? And I pull it out. I know you want to help.
I do want to help. I want to help. Don't y'all want to get in here?
This is exactly like what it was like. So.
It was like delivering a baby,
and then at the end, that pop at the end is.
Oh.
And then there's usually connective tissue. This is like fibrous connective tissue or scar tissue. So yes, if you could help me out. We usually just trim it. I make sure I'm very careful about bleeding and making sure we stop that because obviously we don't want this space to be bleeding.
So these little red vessels you just cauterize.
Yep.
And then,
And there we go. There it is. Place it
now
on
how
the
good does that
tray.
feel?
Yes, it feels good. That felt good. Let me close this.
Did the surgical team applaud?
I applaud in my mind.
Actually, when you've helped patients, and you've shown us a couple today that you really have changed their lives, what does that do to you? How does it change you?
I mean, it feels wonderful. This is the biggest gift that this show has given me. The fact that I can actually see, you know, you do so many things too on a daily basis, but I actually get to see how it changes people. They think, you know, I see them thank me, and it's the best feeling in the world. It really makes me proud to be a dermatologist.
Well, doctor, I'm very proud of you. Congratulations on all your success. Very well deserved.
Thank you.
Keep it up. For more frightening cases, there are plenty more. Tune in to Dr. Pimple Popper Thursdays at 9 p.m. on TLC. It's a fabulous show. We'll be right back. Coming up, the wonderful Suzanne Somers is here, revealing her new way to age.
Yep, I'm sharing what I eat and what I use to feel younger and more vibrant than ever, and it's really cool.
There's the evidence. You may know her as Chrissy from Three's Company or Carol from Step by Step. But Suzanne Somers has made a new name for herself as one of the most outspoken health advocates who isn't afraid to bear it all. Suzanne recently made headlines after this photo created a firestorm across the country. You see why. At 73 years of age, actually 73 years young, Suzanne is here to reveal the truth behind that picture. Oh, I love having you here.
I love.
Looks so good, too.
I know.
She knows all about aging. She's going to reveal some of the anti-aging secrets as well. But can I just first start? Everyone is buzzing about that photo.
Yeah.
What's the backstory? The caption, by the way, was, "Here I am at 73 in my birthday suit." And that's just a tribute to you. To look so vital, to feel so good, but in addition to have recovered from breast cancer, yet there were critics. What do you have to say to them? People didn't like the fact that you posted that.
I know. I wonder why. You know, my whole thing for women and men, and what I'm realizing, is that I'm enjoying aging, and you can't lie about your age anyway, because there's a thing called Google.
Yes.
But I just want you to know, girls, it ain't over. It ain't over. And so I thought when I was 73, I'd be old. And chronologically, I'm old in society. But I'm not old. I have energy, and I do have a a fractured hip right now, but that slows me down a little bit. But that's just from all that sex Alan and I are having.
Alan, that Alan Hamilton. Actually, the interesting thing about Suzanne, let me brag on you. If you know folks in Hollywood, you know Suzanne's reputation there. I mean, everybody is coming to you for secrets on how to stay young.
Yeah.
You're kind to come on the show and share it with all of America. So, just as an example, this is a recent photo. It's on social media. Everyone can pull it down. This is you, Courtney Cox, Jen Aston, Laura Dern. I mean, some superstars there, right? How'd you guys become friends, by the way?
Well, Courtney lives right up the street from me. And all those girls have been looking to me for aging tips because I know what they're going through right now. It's just beginning. It's the decline of hormones, and you and I have talked about this a lot. Yeah. And I started writing about bioidentical hormones, I don't know, this is my 27th book, so maybe 10 or 15 books ago.
Book's called A New Way to Age with a spectacular, again, effort to educate
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah.
Well, there is a new way to age. And when you look at the present paradigm of aging, it's something none of us want. It's decrepit, it's frail, it's one of the big three: cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, with the eventual end point being the nursing home. And so if you don't want that, you have to start making the right choices now. And what I've realized in writing all these books, it's been such a privilege, is that if you listen to the language of your body, you know, I joke about menopause. It's itchy, bitchy, sleepy, sweaty, bloated, forgetful, and all dried up. You know
what a poem.
You know that.
Oh, my goodness.
Right, but
It's an
that's the
anthem.
language. When you're itchy, when you're sweaty, when you can't sleep, the body's talking, saying, I'm missing something. And so that's when I got into putting back, through lab work, these natural hormones in exactly what you need, individualized. So that's how you take care of that part of aging.
So let me ask you, because you're a walking testimonial to what you're doing. You look
I
so
walk
fabulous.
my talk, yeah.
Well, so when you are with these superstars, for example, who are going through life a generation behind you, are they taking your advice? Do they take bioidentical hormones? Are they doing the things you recommend?
They're doing it. Look at them. Don't they look good?
They do look good.
I mean, I don't take credit for them, but they were interested. Courtney and Jennifer sought me out. And I saw them in a restaurant one night many years ago, and we want to talk to you. And when women say that to me, I know what it is. And it allows you to stay of life rather than out of it. It allows you to keep your juice in the best way. And not only for women, but for men. I mean, I look at my husband, who's 83.
Oh my
he looks so amazing, really. And I think we have to rethink it. I'd really like to live well into my hundreds, as long as I keep my brain.
One of the reasons that age is so valued in human society is because it brings wisdom. And as you look back on your career, and I showed the picture of you in Three's Company earlier, television's changed a lot. And so if you reflect back with me, perhaps share what you share with those stars that you've been mentoring on their health. How has the industry of television changed?
Well, if you were in television when I was in, that was probably the best time to ever be in television. Unless you find a niche like you have found. You have found something only you can do. But at that time, there were only 3 networks. And I was on the #1 show. And so if you were watching television on Tuesday night, probably half the country, or a little more than that, was watching Three's Company.
Oh my goodness.
So it was a very powerful thing. And I loved doing that show. I was fired because my contract was up, and I went to renegotiate, and all the men are making 10 to 15 times more than me, and I'm on the #1 show, and I thought, are they all 15 times better than me? So when I went in to renegotiate, they had already decided that they were going to fire me so that women would stop asking. That was before the Me Too movement. If it happened today, I would own ABC.
Oh, gosh. Oh my goodness. Is that right?
But here's the good thing. I think you have to find the silver lining in everything. So now I'm fired, and I'm sitting at home. I had been on top of the world. I'm sitting at home and thinking, why did I do? Why wasn't I happy? And then I heard a voice. I hear voices. And it said, why are you focused on what you don't have? Why don't you focus on what you do have? Now I'm talking to the voice. I go, what do I have? You have enormous visibility. Everybody knows your name. And it hit me like, wow, what an advantage that is. So I said to Alan, I'd like to do a Las Vegas nightclub act. So we went, and it's a long story, but he made a 2-year deal at the MGM Grand. And in '87, I was named Female Entertainer of the Year, along with Frank Sinatra.
Oh, gosh.
And then I had nothing to do during the day, so I started writing books, so I wasn't ordering room service and watching soap operas. And then the books started becoming bestsellers, and then I started educating myself. And I was introduced on one show as autodidactic, and I had to go look up what autodidactic was. And a lot of great contributions have been made by autodidactics. It's usually people like myself who are not educated. And I learned everything that I'm capable of learning and continue to learn. And so my scope is narrow, but I now lecture to doctors. I was just asked to lecture to 7,000 doctors in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I don't walk out insecure, because I understand this part of aging, and I am experiencing an incredible quality of life. I sleep 8 hours every night without any drugs. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. I have a sex drive, which normally at my age that starts waning. You know, when you don't have sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, we women can't feel sex. So it's not like we've lost interest, we can't feel it. So when you put back these sex hormones, woohoo, you start feeling stuff again, and you look at people differently.
I want to share some of these secrets. When we come back, Suzanne's going to reveal her new plan and the secret she does every day to stay young. And it's not what you think. Stick around.
The microwave is the best tool.
We have 10 unexpected ways to use your microwave that will blow you away.
Eggplant parm in the microwave.
Use your microwave to cook and shuck the corn.
14 minutes and you got this, baby.
And what's really the best microwave popcorn? We investigate. Plus, haven't started our System 20 plan yet? There's still time. We're revealing sleep hacks and stress busters for a restful new you.
That's coming up on Monday. I'm back with the wonderful, the beautiful Suzanne Somers and her new plan that she says can help reverse the clock to help you look and feel decades younger. In fact, you are no longer afraid of age.
At all, at all.
You have made it your mission to help people feel younger at any age. And I want to, if I can, I'm going to take you through a couple tips, everybody.
Okay,
These are all Suzanne's ideas. The first one has to do with the skin.
Yeah.
When I look at you, and you pointed this out, the actual texture of the skin looks fabulous. And your skin is your external barometer of what's going on inside your body.
Right.
How do you do it?
So if you look at skin, which you have under a microscope, these pores look like big holes. Yeah. Now imagine you're putting...
There it is. There's your pores.
Yeah, okay, so now you're putting chemical cream over those holes. Where do you think it's going to end up? It's going to drop into your bloodstream.
Yeah. Your skin does matter. And to your
Matters.
point, you use
what you put on it.
Minimal toxins, moisturize.
Right.
So that's we transition to the gut. Because there are tips you provide to us about the gut that are important. Because it's not just about avoiding toxins. It's also about feeding the bacteria the right things.
Totally.
So I've given you a couple examples of probiotics.
Right.
I've got yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi.
Right.
Are these commonly ingested in your family?
Yes. In particular, I crave sauerkraut. I don't know why. I'm Irish. It didn't come from Ireland. I'm married to a Polish guy, so maybe it's something in there. And if I only took one supplement every day, I think I take a lot, but if I only took one, I would take a probiotic, because everybody's got something wrong with their gut, right? Who here? Just raise your hand. You got bloating.
Everyone's got it.
Do you bloat? You got things? Yeah. Look, everybody. Something's wrong because it's the environment. And so the one thing you could do for your gut that would be the best thing you could do is take a probiotic every day, and then to make it work better, either take a prebiotic or eat sauerkraut. I make sauerkraut. It's fun to make.
Everything's fun to do with you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave it with a last tip, a surprising new way as a health secret to slow your aging down. I'm going to raise our glass to this idea. What is this, Ann? Take us away.
Well, when I got mold in my GI tract, I couldn't eat any sugar or yeast, so I couldn't have wine. And my kids said, drink tequila. I said, I don't drink hard liquor because my father was an alcoholic. Oh, try it. I liked it. And it's kind of psychedelic. And Alan and I, we have a bar at our house. We call it Big Al's Bar. And one night, he buzzes my office at the end of the day. He goes, you want a date? And I said, yeah. He said, let's meet at Big Al's Bar. We went down to Big Al's Bar. He poured me a stiff tequila. We listened to music. We talked. We ended up dancing. And then we started dating 2-3 times a week, and now we date almost every night.
Well, let's bring Alan here. Because Three's Company, Alan, grab your tequila.
Here you go.
The best part about
Whoa.
this is the friendship that it means. And I love having you here. Alan,
Thank you.
congratulations.
I love being here.
Thanks for taking care of my friend.
Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank you.
to you.
Thank you, yeah. And top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning.
Right.
You can hear more of her anti-aging secrets in her 27th book, A New Way to Age. The most cutting-edge advances in anti-aging. Everyone in the audience, guess what? You're all going home with a copy of the book, not the tequila. We'll be right back.
Thanks. You know, this is the best medication of all.
Today, I'm letting you in on a skincare secret for aging skin. It's a powerful ingredient that dermatologists swear by. It's believed to help even out your skin tone, reduce dark spots and wrinkles, and now it's more affordable and available in your skincare aisle. My friends, I'm talking about glycolic acid. And here to tell us what glycolic acid can do for you is Dr. Rocio Rivera. I'm here on behalf of my trusted sponsorship partner, L'Oreal Paris. I love having you here. So, glycolic acid is something people may have heard of, but define it if you can. And why is it a dermatologist's go-to ingredient?
As a scientist, Dr. Oz, it is my job to make sure I research the best and most effective ingredients in skincare. You know, glycolic acid is one of those, and it's been one of those superpower ingredients used by dermatologists. They swear by for years, but it's not always been available to everyone, especially in its pure form. But let me tell you what glycolic acid does.
Please.
You know, it resurfaces your skin from the inside out, which translates into fewer dark spots, more even skin tone, and my favorite, less wrinkles and fine lines. But we don't always have the luxury of time to go to the dermatologist, right? So at L'Oreal Paris, we developed the first 10% pure glycolic acid serum. That is the highest concentration that you can use at home, but it's gentle enough to use every day on your skin.
So you can get what a dermatologist would have given you in past years.
At home.
All right, come on over here. Dr. Rivera is going to help all of us understand a bit more about why experts believe glycolic acid is so important for the skin. So we built you skin. This is what it looks like, right? And we're just going to pretend the surface of the skin has some blemishes on it, some wrinkles, some aging spots, like that, right? So when you take glycolic acid, you can be the glycolic acid administrator. You be the dermatologist today, pretend. Right? When you put the glycolic acid on your skin, it acts to dissolve the glue between your dead skin cells.
That's the hyperpigmentation, which in turn, look at that, it reveals even skin tone from underneath. You see these dark spots, it also gets rid of them. With time, but there's something else happening, right?
There is. The thing I like about this, though, is
even skin tone.
You do this, you dissolve some of these linkages, you allow your skin to do what it naturally wants to do, but the key is to fix the stuff inside the skin and on top.
That is
so if I turn this around, you'll see something very important. You see those cells, as we get older, they start to not look so robust.
Yes.
But with glycolic acid, what's going on?
With 10% pure glycolic acid, what happens is it reactivates new skin cells. This is what we're looking at, which in turn reduces the wrinkles on the surface like we just saw. And these are the new cells.
I'll share with you,
Thank you.
All right, so are you all clear on this? This is the theory of why it works.
Yep.
All right, so what do you recommend if someone wants to achieve the benefits that we just saw?
Well, I recommend L'Oreal's Revitalift Derm Intensives Glycolic Acid Serum. It has 10% pure glycolic acid, like we just said, but it was formulated specifically to do those three things we just saw: dark spots, uneven skin tone, and wrinkles. So ladies, be consistent, because if you do, you'll see fast and very effective results.
Can we take 1 second here?
Yes.
A lot of the viewers are going to hear the word acid.
Yes.
And not surprising, you're going to think, well, do I want to put acid on my skin?
Right.
But glycolic acid, I've been as a heart surgeon, I know that it's one of the foundations of dermatologic treatment. Get folks comfortable with what it does.
Yes, so acid can be scary, but make sure you know the glycolic acid you're using, the purity, the percentage, but most importantly, Dr. Ross, is it backed by dermatologists? This is why at L'Oreal Paris, we created a 10% pure glycolic acid, the highest concentration that you can use at home. That's also backed by dermatologists. We had an external panel of dermatologists go through the entire process and looked at our formulas, and we went farther. We wanted to make sure everyone can use this every day, so we added and formulated with soothing and hydrating ingredients like aloe vera. Therefore, it's ultra gentle on the skin, yet extremely effective. So let me just tell you something. No one has to be scared of this glycolic acid.
All right, so the Revitalift Derm Intensive Pure Glycolic Serum, I get it. You also, however, belt and suspenders this. You believe we ought to be able to, for optimal results, combine it with something else.
Yes, so let's make sure we use glycolic acid always at night. 3-4 drops, a little goes a long way. But after cleansing, what happens the next morning? Make sure before you go out, you put an SPF, a moisturizer with SPF. I recommend the L'Oreal Revitalift Triple Power SPF 30. And why? Because it also happens to have the top 3 derm recommended ingredients. Those are, do you know?
No, educate me.
Pro-retinol, vitamin C, and hyaluronic acid. And this formula has been specifically formulated to provide super powerful results on aging skin.
All right, so I actually asked
Power couple, huh?
Power couple, right? So we have a power couple here, 2 of our viewers
Yes,
who are going
we
to
do.
join us. They've been using L'Oreal's glycolic acid serum and the SPF 30 for 10 weeks. You did it okay, right?
Yes.
All right, so I have before and afters. I think these are pretty stunning, but we got to judge. So this is before and after Adriana's skin, before the L'Oreal product, and this is
Untouched.
afterwards. So you're here today. What kind of difference did you notice? Were you surprised, impressed?
I was actually trying to prove them wrong. I'm a skeptic by nature, so I actually went into it thinking it's not going to work. I've been using expensive products. I've been trying to ward off the dark spots, and nothing worked.
Right.
So this was just, okay, I'm going to prove them wrong. The dark spots really...
Yeah, I see that.
at that.
It's remarkable.
It is remarkable what it did, but the
Unretouched.
bonus was that the fine lines are starting to fade, and it's a phenomenal product. I mean, if I could buy stocks into your product, I would. And so that's why I see such a huge difference. And within the 10 weeks, I have gotten so many compliments on what my skin looks like.
Good for
and
you.
I've been going out with nothing now.
Look at that.
So, Leah, you did the same thing.
Yes,
Again, I have it before and after, if I can show that. And we had you guys take your own photos.
Yes.
So, you know, pretty dramatic changes in pigmentation, the smoothness. wrinkles.
Hyperpigmentation is absolutely outstanding. Look at that. We also, I want to point out, let's look at this area as well. Fantastic results.
So, Leah, your thoughts. And describe how your skin actually felt before and after.
Yes.
It's really amazing because I've used other products over the counter and through the dermatologist before, and it was very drying. I would
Yes.
get a lot of redness, a lot of flaking. I tried to stick with it for a couple weeks and then I just gave up. And this product was amazing because there wasn't any of that drying effect or the redness. So I really believe that it has done a wonderful job with the dark spots. I have a lot of sun damage. As you can see in those pictures, it's just
We all do.
remarkable.
We
all do.
It's remarkable. And then the other bonus was the fine lines. So I'm
So
very
if folks want to find the products, where do they get it? What does it cost, actually? Because cost can be an issue.
They're less than $24 at
Yes.
Walmart. Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. I've been telling
Fantastic, those
everybody.
results.
I tell everybody about it.
These are unretouched.
So what do you think about the
pictures.
audience? They're about to rush us here because they're so angry that these 2 guests of ours got these. What do you think? One little dollop for every audience member?
No, don't be stingy. We're going to give them both. How about that?
All right. The entire audience, thanks to my partner, L'Oreal Paris. The entire audience is going home with Revitalift Derm Intensive 10% pure glycolic acid serum and Revitalift Triple Power SPF 30. Enjoy it and look beautiful. We'll be right back. From helping with your cough and congestion to dry skin and chapped lips, so many of you consider your humidifier a winter weather necessity, right? But can they be more harmful than helpful? Filling the air with excess debris and mold, maybe bacteria. It's not only gross, but what's lurking in your humidifier may aggravate your asthma or your allergies. So my guest today says she may have the filthiest humidifier in America. Jessica has had this humidifier for 3 years, never cleaned it once, looks pretty on the outside, but is apparently leaking some kind of a peach-colored slime. What is that?
And Dr. Oz, no matter how hard I try to clean it, I pull it apart, I go in there, I try to scrub it, you physically can't get into the mechanism. And when I open it and look in there, I see this kind of like peach slime that I just can't scrub out. And then I don't know, can I use a chemical on it? Is it safe to use bleach? Because then I'm gonna heat it up and put it into the air. So I just don't know how to clean it properly. I'm hoping that I do a good job in that.
3 years is a long time. What is the problem with just getting in there, even if it's a pain in the neck, and cleaning the humidifier?
You physically can't. You can't reach into some of these little crevices. You can do an outside cleaning of it, and even on the column, but to try and get into that water tank is nearly impossible.
So most of us are not cleaning it, or we don't know how to clean it?
I would assume that it's impossible to clean it as well as you think you might be doing or you want to.
Now, the compound issues, if I understand correctly, you run it all day long.
I do.
What is your biggest fear about what might be lurking in this beautiful humidifier that has not been cleaned?
I fear that there's something toxic or some kind of bacteria or some kind of creature or something that I'm then spraying into the air in my home without even knowing.
Is there a small animal in there? What do you think that is?
Yeah, I think it's swimming and crawling.
I see that there's some nooks and crannies, but I know there are ways of cleaning it, which we'll get back to in a second. So don't let your imagination run too wild. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about what we actually found in here, because we did a little homework. But I want to find out what could be lurking inside this humidifier. All right, so stick around. My head of my medical unit, Dr. Michael Crupain, has been looking into this. First things first, Jessica and so many others love their humidifier. What is the deal here?
Well, cool air brings dry air and more congestion. And when parents hear their kids having trouble breathing because they're congested or coughing or even just sniffling, they want something to do. So they bring in the humidifier, which adds more moisture to that air. And then that's supposed to help break up the mucus to make it easier to breathe, right? So the med unit looked into it to see if there was any data to show that this is actually the case. And there isn't any, but they are recommended by pediatricians. But what most people don't think about is that humidifier is making all this mist, right? Yeah. And if it can send mist out that you're supposed to breathe in, it could also send out things that maybe you shouldn't be breathing in. So it's really important to keep them clean.
So are there some folks who definitely should not be using a humidifier?
So we couldn't find anyone who definitely shouldn't use a humidifier, but people who have asthma or allergies should probably be more careful because they might be more sensitive to anything that a dirty humidifier might be sending out. There's also a thing called humidifier lung. And this...
Humidifier lung?
Yeah, it sounds strange. This is a condition that happens when something from the humidifier gets into the lungs and causes irritation and inflammation. And this is very rare, but just another reason why you should be cleaning your humidifier.
Well, obviously, if you turn the humidifier on, you don't feel well. That's sort of a clue you may have one of these conditions. Okay, tell us what may be lurking inside the humidifier.
Okay, so there's three things that we worry about in a humidifier. The first thing is debris. So humidifiers are filled with water, right? And water is clear, but things can be dissolved in that water, and when you break up the water and turn it to mist, those things can come out. In humidifier lingo, it's known as white dust, and it can be an irritant.
Got it. And not using your humidifier or not cleaning it for 3 years, could that make it worse?
It could. So next thing is mold. We all know that mold is not good for us, but you know what mold really likes?
What?
Moisture. So humidifiers are like beachfront property for mold. They can grow there, and they can come out again in the mist and cause health problems.
Beachfront property. Jessica's teetering over there.
All right, the last thing is bacteria. So bacteria, like mold, also really like warm, moist environments, so they can grow in a humidifier. Things like Legionella, Pseudomonas are the most concerning that could be in there, but all kinds of bacteria could grow in there and come out with that mist.
So Jessica, are you fearful of any of these?
Terrified.
Terrified? All right, well, when we come back, we're going to reveal the truth. All right, everyone pay attention here. What you can do to keep your humidifier clean will be the other lesson we teach, because you're right, it's hard, but it's doable. Stay with us. Coming up, the test results are in. Find out if my next guest has the filthiest humidifier in America. Plus, tips on how to keep your humidifier clean. We swab what could be the filthiest humidifier in America, and we're about to reveal the lab test results. Let's remind everybody that Jessica's humidifier looked like this, with a little bit of slime there. Are you nervous?
Very. Frightened, in fact.
So a lot of people are like you. They have not been able to get into nooks and crannies. So we checked a couple things. Let me start off with the bacteria. We found 14.2 million colonies of bacteria, which is 2 to 3 times what you have on your arms. And I only bring that up because that's bacteria that's being pushed into the air that goes into your lungs. So just imagine dirty skin, 3 times more than your skin, and you're, I don't know, breathing in the bacteria that are on it. Not ideal.
Ugh, that's horrible.
However, the fungus and mold stuff we look for, inconclusive. So you dodged a bullet there. And those are actually more of a problem oftentimes because they'll hide in your lungs for a long time. So, what do you think?
I'm terrified and repulsed at the same time, knowing that, even though I did try to clean it, that my efforts were in vain because it just didn't work.
Well, I gotta say, I was curious about your question, these little nooks and crannies. I think the battle on the humidifier is not fought in that tiny bit of tubing, it's fought here.
Oh.
It's actually the big stuff. If you keep the big stuff clean, as much as you can. The small stuff takes care of itself, sort of like life. All right. Let me give you and everybody else some tips. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you.
Okay, here are 3 tips to help everyone watching have the healthiest humidifier in America. First off, use distilled water. Invest in it. It's not that big a deal. You drink clean water. Put clean water in your lungs. Every day, empty, rinse, and dry the base before refilling. Every day. Don't let the water lie in there stagnantly, because that will begin to accumulate in the stuff you can't get to. And this is important. Every week, remove the water that's scaling on the sides with vinegar and then bleach solution to disinfect the unit. Don't run it through the unit. Just clean off the sides. That way, when you put the water in there, you're rebooting the system effectively and can wash out whatever may be stuck in the small tubing. All right, remember, the power change, it lies in the power use. Spread the word. One person, one voice, but you're speaking the truth, so it matters. Goodbye, everybody.